It has been nearly a year and a half since I experienced I don't even know how debatable it is anymore, the worst horror movie experience in a theater with The Strangers Chapter 1. And since I am your opportunistic masochist, I watched The Strangers Chapter 2. I have thoughts. Number 1. What are you doing? What are we doing? Why are there supposed to be 3 parts of this? Director Rennie Harlan, quote, "We were thinking about the structure of the 3 movies and the fact that people tend to think that the movie in between is filler. We wanted to make sure that we gave the middle movie its own personality and treated it as its own movie in the most powerful way possible." Rennie, filler is exactly what the fuck this movie is. Chapter 1 made me feel like a crazy person. Chapter 2 made me feel like a crazy person. We didn't need this part. In 96 minutes, we moved the story an inch and then call it a day. Wipe our hands clean. A job well done, boys. Bags off. Remember how in Chapter 1's trailer, they said we would learn how the strangers came to be. And then we learned dick all about the strangers? Yeah, they lied. But in Chapter 2, we learn. We learn a lot. Just like I had to do with Chapter 1, I can think of no better way to convey my thoughts than to just tell you what happens in the movie. And I would love to do that right after I reimburse the money that I spent on that ticket.
If you do choose to watch this snooze fest, you're gonna need a bed anyway. And no offense, but that little bedbug bonanza with a pillow you got back there is just not gonna cut it. You can't invite someone back to the crib with that bed, come on. Today's sponsor is Helix Sleep. Longtime friend of the channel. A premium mattress, we've got it. Bedding customized to fit your needs and conveniently shipped right to your door. Helix's Sleep Quiz matches you to the perfect mattress, and being a side sleeper who prefers medium firm, I was matched with the Helix Midnight Luxe. I've had it for about 3+ years now. It is absolutely my personal mattress. Still looks and feels brand new. Also one of the unsung heroes. I love that my mattress gets cold, because my last one never did that. Sleeping hot and toasty is a crime in most states, by the way. At least it should be. I wake up all the time throughout the entire night if I'm too hot. But with my Helix? Oh, it's like a beautiful ice bath after a terrible day of life. I'm just kidding. Life's great. And so's my mattress.
I've been traveling so much recently, and sleeping in hotels with beds that aren't mine really makes you realize what you got at home, because these stiff pallets with blankets just make me sad. There is a 100-night sleep trial to test the mattress out and ensure that you absolutely love it. And yeah, the rumors are true. The Helix Midnight Luxe is ranked as the best overall mattress according to both Forbes and Wired.
Did I also mention that 82% of participants saw an increase in their deep sleep cycle in Helix's Wesper sleep study?
Thank you, Helix Sleep, for sponsoring.
Visit helixsleep.com/MistaGigi
to take advantage of their prime time sale and get 27% off site-wide.
And thank you, Helix Sleep, for sponsoring today's video.
Ready? We begin with yet another statistic. This one's something like, this year, 1,718 people were killed at complete random. And then it singles out the word random, because the strangers are random. Remember when that one girl danced in front of the shotgun? Yeah, she's so crazy. Love her. So we do start to get some background on the strangers here, in the form of flashbacks. And I think we're kind of strongly hinted who the strangers might be in present day. Because we're at the diner, and then the camera focuses on like a waitress, and then the flashback starts. So I guess whoever the hell this is one of them. 20 years ago, there's this little girl making sandcastles in her little Mormon school, and she likes this little Mormon boy. I don't even know if they're Mormon. I just saw them, thought Mormon, and just nodded along for the rest of the movie. Like, yeah, I was right, with no confirmation whatsoever. If I'm wrong, I apologize. To the Mormons watching, which I don't even know if you should be watching stuff like this, I'm telling. Anyway, she likes him, but then this other 7-year-old pick-me keeps trying to get his attention. And she also proceeds to step on the sandcastle on her way out. And the little girl's Joker arc begins. Anyway, we left off with Maya at the hospital. And we pick right back up because I think this is just a day after she got stabbed, because these 2 bozo cops at the diner reveal she's still alive. The strangers, presumably, overhear it and decide to finish the job. So while Maya's in the room, wounded, she hears the must be one employee at the hospital say something like, "Who the fuck are you? Doctor!" I'm almost positive that man yelled doctor as he was dying at a hospital. He yelled for the doctor. Play the Seinfeld theme while you're at it, movie. So that's why they call it the graveyard shift. I will say, this movie is instantly more visually interesting than the last. Maybe I just like the fact that we weren't walking through fog for 40 minutes. But don't you give up hope. We still got a lot of movie left, baby. There is damn near no dialogue in this movie. I watched the trailer for the first time after the movie, and it's funny because you don't know it yet, but the majority of lines you hear are taken from one scene with this fella. Wanna know why? Because that scene probably has 1/3 of the dialogue in the whole film. Big spoilers coming up right here. You will hear footsteps and you will hear Maya scream, grunt, and cry. Remember, her boyfriend, vaguely turned fiance right before he got stabbed, is dead. So there's no longer any A and B conversation. The strangers don't talk, and I've probably said more words in the last minute than Maya says the entire film. Now, we have a pretty insane sequence here at the hospital, so buckle up. Maya hides in this hospital room. Then a stranger walks into that hospital room, and he looks through the hospital room slowly. Then Maya runs out of the hospital room, and we go to the next scene. I just bit my nails off thinking about it. Also, the continuity from our point of view doesn't make any sense in that scene because Maya Heike teleports, she like ducks down and then appears in the bathroom somehow, but you know, shout out Abra. I feel like Abra doesn't get enough shout outs in YouTube videos. What's up with that? I want to clarify early on, by the way, Maya has been the only person to survive an attack from the strangers. So they're presumably here to finish the job, aka kill her. We should all be under that assumption because in chapter 1, they were clearly messing with them, playing games, leading up to their murder. But now something unforeseen has occurred and they need to tie up this loose end. We play some more hide and seek for a bit. You've seen it a billion times. I mean, we really picked up where we left off because this is what we were doing at the end of the last film. She hides in one of those pull-out drawers in the morgue that have bodies, dead ones. And right as the stranger is staring into her drawer, some random employee walks in, which gives us a total of 2 staff members, and he stares at the man with a mask and an axe for far too long until he says, "Please don't." Yeah, that moron takes an axe to the chest, and he was carrying a wet floor sign, and now he's bloodied up. It's ironic. Ugh. Room for one more? Maya then looks at the body that she's hiding with and starts caressing his face. And that's when I realized, oh, that's Ryan. Oh, she found the tray with Ryan's body while she was in a hurry to hide. Got it. Speaking of Ryan, we get a bunch of flashbacks with Ryan because lest we forget, he died, stabbed, and then gently pushed over, toesies and everything. He asked his girlfriend to marry him, and his life instantly went to shit. Coincidence, fellas? Maya escapes the hospital, or actually, this scene, it's in the trailer. We actually see the stranger run at full speed. And it's crazy and scary because they don't do that. They walk very effectively, might I add, because they still somehow always keep up with you at this pace. But if anything, this should add to my crackpot theory that they desperately want to kill this woman, right? Because the strangers don't do cardio. They're not gonna chase you and get all sweaty and shit. This guy's got on a jacket. Axes aren't exactly light. Oh, and he's got a fucking bag on his head. Maya escapes, and it's a dark and stormy night. And then she finds a horse stable. Wait, what's that sound I'm hearing? Oh, dialogue. This lady holds Maya at gunpoint, thinking she's stealing, and then that lady takes a crossbow to the chest from one of the strangers in the distance, which thank God she almost said more than 3 lines. Maya rushes to grab the gun she drops and takes aim at the strangers. Bang! Just had 1 bullet in this bitch? Why? Oh my God, why? Yeah, sorry to interrupt your Tuesday night Russian roulette, man, but you left me in a bit of a pickle. Maya tosses the gun, even though I don't believe it's that obvious that she's out of ammo. Like, at least carry it around for a scare tactic, I don't know. Instead, she rushes into the stable and hides. Stranger lady comes walking through, the horses are neighing and doing that other thing they do. Gotta be named for that. Bless you. Maya finds a pitchfork and catches her by surprise. And then she stabs her thigh, I think? Then Maya runs off. Because killing 1/3 of the operation? That's stupid. Nobody likes fractions. Let me just take turns inconveniencing all 3 of them and continue this eternal chase. The Strangers universe, this bumblefuck town in Oregon, is teeny tiny. Everybody runs into everybody. The strangers never lose your scent. It's stupid. Like, Maya runs into the road and the first car she sees has a woman that recognizes her. You know who didn't recognize that woman? Me. I was racking my brain thinking, who the hell, was she from part 1? Who is this? And I think at some point she dropped something about being her nurse and I said, oh, that lady that said 2 lines to her? Yeah, you kidding me? Like the back of my hand. Speaking of, who thought it was a good idea to make this 3 parts? So the nurse is driving with her roommate, and her only trait is that she's ex-military. They make sure to say it twice. Maya is paranoid. She can't trust anybody. She thinks everybody could be involved, so she's freaking out. This is a psychological horror too. And this entire time that this is happening, they refuse to start driving. Maya's just got the zoomies and refuses to tell them that she's being actively hunted and isn't that far from her last interaction. They eventually drive, and then 2 random fellas on a dirt road in the middle of a storm? Who could this be? we should stop. Don't worry, if anything goes wrong, she's ex-military. Turns out, it's their two roommates. They're stranded or something. One of them is Gregory, I believe, and he just hates Maya. He stares at her with creepy eyes, he only speaks to her in a threatening fashion, and he's got a smiley face tattoo on the back of his ear, which is indicative of the strangers or something. The other guy doesn't matter at all, but he does do this really gross thing with his mouth. And it's in the trailer, for some reason. I don't really know what that means, just know I left the theater rock hard. Because this movie can't buy subtlety, they're listening to some aggressive pastor rant on the radio as they drive home, saying stuff like, "The devil could be by you right now." Like, come on, guys. Do you need me to do another fucking stabbing bazinga line? Why are we doing this? Also, be real with me for 2 seconds, guys. Who here, watching, has a little switchblade pocket knife that they consistently use to eat apples? Because I hate seeing this in movies. Is it an ex-military thing? I need to know, because our ex-military character doesn't. It just bothers me seeing a villain character pull an apple out of their ass and start slicing away in tense moments. Like, gee, I wonder what's gonna happen first. You reckon they're gonna finish the apple? Or stab somebody. Anyway, this just adds to the paranoia, and Maya, sitting in the middle seat, unlocks the door, steals the knife, and somehow leaps over the guy while they're driving, and she rolls down a hill. I feel like when people jump out of cars, it's never flat ground, it's always a hill. I just always immediately think, blah, 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 blah. It's never just, bah. No one ever sticks the landing. They stop the car and they go to look for her, I don't give a shit. She wanders off in the woods, it's daytime now, her stitches are in shambles, so she stitches herself back up, it's painful, I don't give a shit. The scene is just way too long, but at least Madeline does a solid job of selling it. And now we've arrived. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm honored that I'm the one that gets to tell you this if you haven't seen the movie. Maya makes a fire. She's starting to settle in a bit, right? And then she hears commotion in the distance, and she starts to panic. And the commotion gets closer, and you start to hear this clopping of sorts. Maya starts running, and then we get the POV of the predator. I figured the strangers took horses from the stable, and now they were ambushing her, which may sound silly, but you could have given me 20 guesses as to what is actually about to happen, and I would be very, very wrong still. There's an abandoned car in the middle of the woods that she gets into, and right as she does, the guy breaks her window. Bah! Ah! This is the end! But then nothing happens, and she just hears some shuffling. And then a boar rips through the back seat of the vehicle to attack her. And don't worry, your speakers are working perfectly fine. Those are some nice earbuds you got. Maya is currently being attacked by a wild pig in the middle of My Strangers movie. Listen, they're subverting expectations. And then there's putting a CGI boar in your movie. Hakuna Matata. Even though he's a warthog and he's not a boar, I don't know how similar they are. Anyways, during this scene, there's a frame of the boar stepping on Maya's back. Like the camera's pointing up, you see Maya's face, and then the boar's behind, like, just dominated her, right? And I wanted so badly to share that frame, to just give you a peek into what I was watching. And just to clarify, there was a boar on screen long before this stupid pig. The boar bites her leg a few times and just kind of messes with her instead of, I don't know, stabbing her. She smacks him with a lit branch from the fire, and then with the knife she stole, she kills it. Well, he kind of kills himself. He jumps on top, and then she stares at it long and hard because she can't believe that she did that. Oh no. Her first taste of blood. We get another flashback of waitress girl hanging with the Mormon boy, and they're playing with baby boars. Which is a fun word to say. Say it, try it. Baby boars. And one of them says something like, I'm gonna teach the boars to do lots of things. One of those things not being killing. I had actually completely blocked out this other scene right after I saw it, but it was before the boar attack. And it was the stranger guy cutting open some doors as you heard a pig squealing. And I didn't know what the hell that was. I thought he was just starting to make noises and go insane. Go fucking sicko mode. But I guess he released the wild boar. I'm assuming to track her down and kill her. That was their goal, right? To have the boar kill her? They want Maya dead, right? Am I getting that? Cameraman, you with me? But anyway, in the flashback, the pick-me comes around and gets the boy's attention, and then the waitress runs off and kills a field mouse. Oh no. Her first taste of blood. We see these two dumbass cops back at the diner. They don't matter at all. They're discussing the case, and the old cop's like, will you lower your voice? Having everyone hear about the case. Maybe stop talking about everything at the diner? Go to the station, you dorks. Maya, post-boar attack, wanders around and finds herself back at the original murder house. How? I don't know. Everyone's just going in circles. But she takes her time, just moving around the house a bit, reliving everything, being like, that's where my boyfriend killed that innocent guy. Yeah, let's move on. Good piano. But that's when Special Agent Billy Buford shows up. He's with Internal Affairs investigating the lack of a response to all these murders. He brings her out to his truck to get her out of here, and then he smiles at her briefly, and he looks over and he gets shot with a crossbow. Thanks for the car, Billy. So I laughed at that scene, right? But I guess this guy was actually supposed to play a much larger role in this movie. From The Hollywood Reporter, Chapter 2 and Chapter 3 originally had a subplot involving a present-day investigation into the strangers' identities. But upon further review, Harlan and company realized that such a story thread didn't fit the DNA of the franchise. Rennie Harlan, quote, "In retrospect, I think we mistakenly took a path of emphasizing the investigation into these killers. We realized that's not all what this series of movies should be about," Harlan shares. "Investigating clues and figuring it out like a kind of whodunit was completely the wrong path." Which is funny, because you cut all of that out, but the whole whodunit thing is still very present in the movie with all the other shit you did. Which, by the way, I don't necessarily disagree with this choice. I guarantee the cop was just gonna reiterate all the clues that we as an audience can probably pick up on our own and just waste our time in a different way. And they mention him being present in Chapter 3 as well, meaning he wasn't supposed to get crossbowed in this movie. Aw, Billy! Get up, Billy! We need you for the thrilling conclusion!
Forget Billy! Billy's dead!
Maya drives away. The truck starts to power down because they shot an arrow into the car as well. And she barely arrives as it's powering down to a house. And it just so happens to be the house of all the roommates that she was with earlier. It's a small, small, small town. She also passes out at the front door, then wakes up, and it turns out the nurse patched her up. Gregory's drunk, and he's saying more weird shit to her. He's a very troubled boy. After he harasses her a bunch, his roommates finally step in. They're like, "Hey, cut it out!" And he stomps over to his room, and he slams the door and starts playing rock music loudly like a child in the 90s. I don't really understand what they're doing with Gregory. He just has the same flair as the gas station attendant to me. Just a caricature of a secretly bad dude. I'm assuming they're trying to goof us that he's one of the strangers, especially because he drives off before the strangers attack again. I don't think he's the guy, but I also don't get what his deal is. I'm gonna guess his dad is like the sheriff and he hates how the town secretly covers everything up and he's gonna end up fighting on the right side in the third part. Maya has a friend, a family member, somebody who sent a personal EMT to pick her up because she can't pick her up herself. This plot is stupid as fuck, but she just got her phone back and she messages her and she's like, "All right, cool, BRB." And then she puts a dresser in front of the door because she doesn't want Gregory coming back in. But then, coincidentally, the strangers have arrived and they try getting in. And she checks her phone. No service, it says in a really big, awkward font. It just worked 5 minutes ago, but the strangers clearly activated their EMP. These guys do everything. They simultaneously harness the power of an electromagnetic pulse and pigs. Maya rushes into the bathroom where there's no escape. Then she goes to check on the other door again. And the strangers right behind her. And they don't play the audio in the trailer because this scene is in the trailer, but they don't play that audio for good reason. Because all we hear is "Rock-a-bye baby on the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock." Excuse me, a stranger lady? You have a beautiful voice, firstly. I've been watching the movie and everything you guys are doing and stuff. You should probably kill Maya. Like right now. Because worst case scenario, Maya's like hiding a pair of shears and she's gonna 180 and somehow get the jump on you and stab you in the shoulder. What'd I say? Why are all of you so dumb? Stabs her in the shoulder. Hey Maya, you wanna finish killing this one? No? Okay, I was just asking. Yeah, I don't wanna bother you, I'm sorry. I love you. She rushes out and then she sees the slaughtering of the roommates. They apparently got tied up and murdered at some point during this interaction. By the way, we don't see the stranger guy at all here. I'm assuming to keep up the facade that it's Gregory, but that tells me that only the two girls did all of this. So outnumbered, they captured and murdered this group in the span of a minute, maybe two. So you had zero problem subduing ex-military, yet you can't seem to kill Maya the architect. The wounded architect. Maya rushes out and she sees the EMT's vehicle and then she jumps in the back and without hesitation she taps the driver's seat and says, "Drive, drive." Do you have eyes? I know you're gashed up and you got a bum foot and you're going through this psychological terror right now and you're also a fucking dingus, but Maya, look at stuff. That's all you got. All you got is the eyes. Use them! Stranger lady turns around. "Booga, booga, booga, stupid dog. It's me." She's in the driver's seat, and I love that she willingly gave her back to you, banking on you being dumb as a rock. They end up tussling, and then Maya actually stabs her in the head. Pow! And she kills her. The taste of blood yet again. Joker arc. Joker arc. So Maya starts driving, and it turns out she's actually not dead. Maya's driving, and then she actually sneaks up on her, and she can kill her right then and there. Just stab her in the neck. Maybe get real gruesome. Fucking just gouge her eyes out. But she decides to start choking her with the seatbelt instead. And she just, I guess she weighed out her options and thought, Safety first. Maya is now being choked and will die very soon. So she clicks in her seatbelt and thinks, they expect one of us in the wreckage, brother. Is that a good Bane voice?
No!
They expect one of us in the wreckage, brother. They crash, the vent flips on its side, and the stranger lady goes flying through the window. By the way, I know they have names, Scarecrow, Pinup Girl, and Dollface. I really don't care to differentiate them. But for the record, I believe Pinup Girl is dead. Flashback time. The Mormon boy and girl are playing house as the waitress watches. The boy knocks on the door and says, "Is Tamara here?" Oh! The pick-me is Tamara! We have finally learned one new piece of information 80 minutes into the film. She opens the door and gives the boy a kiss, and he thinks, "Ah! I'm going to hell! Why would you do that? Ah!" No, I don't know, but he is a little weird about it. And that's the final straw for Pinup Girl. She knocks on the door next. Wasn't invited. And then once Tamara opens it, beats her with a rock, and then says in a very evil fashion, "Is Tamara here?" He said it again. It's even in the trailer. Check it out. Play that clip.
Is Tamara here?
Then she sits down with the boy as she paints a smiley face in the blood, establishing their logo very early on. And I guess he's just crazy too, because he buys in immediately and is like, yeah, let's be evil together. This is a great idea. What the hell is his motive? Hers is jealousy. What started his Joker arc? Just seeing someone dying, got his rocks off, and he thought, yeah, I could do this in another 20 years. We see Stranger Scarecrow Man pull up in a truck with Dollface as he goes up to his fallen love and he takes her mask off to reveal that it was who they showed us it was in the beginning. It was that waitress that I talked about. Now we just have a slight backstory as to who she is. And I still can't help but ask, was she even introduced in chapter 1? Is this her first introduction? Because in reality, we don't know anything about this person. We have her Joker arc from when she was 8, but who's this? I know nothing about the current day killer, so I don't even care about this reveal. I guess Scarecrow loves her and this is a bummer. By the way, I wish you could have seen my reaction here. When he's holding her and the screen goes black, to be continued. What? It's over? We finally learned one thing that you told us we were going to learn in the first chapter. And as soon as we do, you kick us to the curb? Suck my balls, guys. Suck my balls. From the Hollywood Reporter, Rennie Harlan. We realized that people were really keen on knowing more about the strangers and understanding a little bit more about where they come from, while appreciating the fact that the killings are random. These sociopaths have no rhyme or reason, and that's part of the fascination of these films. But at the same time, the audience wanted to know more. And that was, I would say, the major exploration we did in chapter 2 and chapter 3. It was about revealing more without making it trivial, like, oh, this person grew up like this, and the reason they are killing is because they hate their father. Okay, so I know it's been a bit of time since I said it, but just to reiterate, Pinup Girl is like this because she was jealous of another girl talking to a boy she liked. That's her Joker arc. They hate their father, and they were jealous of somebody, are two balls of the same sack. Am I crazy? Am I the crazy one? The strangers are indeed random, as the movie so eloquently pointed out. They're not supposed to have a rhyme or reason. But the goal of this trilogy is to show us who they are, how they came to be, why they do what they do, how and why the town is complicit. So why not take the time to develop Pinup Girl more than her 8-year-old edgy persona? I think this is an inherent flaw with this trilogy. They're supposed to be random anonymous killers, but you want to run a whodunit with us and want us to learn about them. But not too much because they still need to be mysterious and never speak. So ultimately, I don't give a shit about this reveal. I don't give a shit that Pinup Girl is dead, or that Scarecrow is hypothetically heartbroken. Pinup Girl could have died by pitchfork earlier, and it wouldn't change how I feel about this at all. Like, what is chapter 3 supposed to be at this point? Just a different set of flashbacks for Dollface and how she joined the other two? Also, I kinda hate that through this interview, you keep putting it on the audience that they were clamoring to learn more about the strangers. The only reason you got that response is because you guys marketed the movie that way. Learn how the strangers came to be. You announced a trilogy. I would assume we get some damn lore through that. I guarantee if you just did a one and done remake, a home invasion, senseless killing, but made it decent, no one would care. People would relive a little nostalgia, say, but I think the original's still better, give you $50 million and move on with their lives. But now you're here, and you have to fight tooth and nail to try and keep people interested in this trilogy, because the interest is only gonna continue to plummet with another stinker like this. I don't care how many TikToks you do with Madeleine Petsch. She seems lovely, but these movies are bad. To cap it, we do get an after credits inside look to chapter 3, and all I got out of it was we see Maya in a stranger mask with the other two, presumably about to kill some people. So either A, that Joker arc thing I've been joking about is real, and she turned. B, this is her playing along to infiltrate them and backstab them at the end. Or C, it starts as A, and then she learns something, or gets reminded of Ryan and has a change of heart. Or D, Wild Boar. I've been asked if this is at least better than Chapter 1, and I see a lot of people saying that it is, which is a very low bar to clear, by the way. I think it's the same piece of shit in a different toilet. If I had to rewatch one, it's probably this one, but seriously, that's not a compliment. I just think I was ever so slightly less bored through this watch, but probably just more prepared for this to be total ass. Will I be back in a year to watch Chapter 3? Listen, I finish my food, even if it sucks. See you then. Gamer Subs is delicious. Code Mr. GG, 10% off. Thanks for helping the gaming channel hit 100K. Appreciate that. Patrons are the GOATs. Here's some lovely art from some lovely people. Patrons get monthly exclusives, by the way. Very cool. And as always, I am Mr. GG, and I am out. Bah.